I saw the author's penmanship evolve from the overcautious script of a child to the tightly packed scribbling of a young man. I finished reading the last page, looked over my shoulder to make sure I was still alone, and turned back to the first. I had to read it again, right now, before reason turned its dogs on the dangerous beliefs that were beginning to march through my mind. The little book began with these 7 absurd, fascinating words. This is the Journal of Abraham Lincoln. Rhinebeck is one of those upstate towns that time forgot. A town where family-owned shops and familiar faces line the streets, and the oldest inn in America, where, as any townie will proudly tell you, General Washington himself once laid his wigless head, still offers its comforts at reasonable prices. It's a town where people give each other homemade quilts and use wood stoves to heat their homes, and where I have witnessed on more than one occasion an apple pie cooling on a windowsill. The place belongs in a snow globe. Like most of Rhinebeck, the Five and Dime on East Market Street is a living piece of a dying past. Since 1946, the locals have depended on it for everything from egg timers to hem tape to pencils to Christmas toys. If we don't sell it, you don't need it, boasts the sun-beaten sign in the front window. And if you need it anyway, we'll order it. Inside, between checkered linoleum and unflattering fluorescence, you'll find all the sundries of earth-bursting organized by bin, prices written in grease pencil, debit cards begrudgingly accepted. This was my home from 8:30 in the morning to 5:30 at night, 6 days a week, every week. I'd always known I'd end up in the store after graduation, just like I had every summer since I was 15. I wasn't family in the strictest sense, but Jan and Al had always treated me like one of their kids, giving me a job when I needed it most, throwing me a little pocket money while I was away at school. The way I saw it, I owed them 6 solid months, June through Christmas. That was the plan. 6 months of working in the store by day and working on my novel nights and weekends. Plenty of time to finish the first draft and give it a good polish. Manhattan was only an hour and a half by train, and that's where I'd go when I was done, with 4 or 5 pounds of unsolicited, proofread opportunity under my arm. Goodbye, Hudson Valley. Hello, lecture circuit. 9 years later, I was still in the store. Somewhere in the middle of getting married, surviving a car accident, having a baby, abandoning my novel, starting and abandoning half a dozen others, having another baby, and trying to stay on top of the bills, something wholly unexpected and depressingly typical happened. I stopped caring about my writing and started caring about everything else. The kids, the marriage, the mortgage, the store. I seethed at the sight of locals shopping at the CVS down the street. I bought a computer to help track inventory. Mostly I looked for new ways to bring people through the door. When the used bookstore in Red Hook closed, I bought some of their stock and put a lending shelf in the back. Raffles, clearance sales, Wi-Fi, anything to get them through that door. Every year I tried something new. And every year we barely scraped by. Henry, footnote, not the name he went by at the time. For the sake of consistency, I referred to him by his actual name throughout the book, including here. Had been coming for a year or so before we got around to talking. We'd exchanged the expected pleasantries, nothing more. Have a good one. See you next time. I only knew his name because I'd heard it through the Market Street grapevine. The story was he'd bought one of the bigger places off of Route 9G and had an army of local handymen sprucing it up. He was a little younger than me, maybe 27 or so, with messy dark hair, a year-round tan, and a different pair of sunglasses for every occasion. I could tell he was money. His clothes screamed it. Vintage t-shirts, wool blazers, jeans that cost more than my car. But he wasn't like the other money that came in. The asshole weekenders who like to gush about our cute little town and our adorable little store, walking right past our no food or drink please sign with their oversized cups of hazelnut coffee and never spending a dime. Henry was courteous.